Well, hello. I'm Greg Brown. I'm the superintendent of schools in USD 435 here in Abilene, and I'm joined by Dana Sprinkle. You have met her before. We are recording this using the Zoom platform that many of us have become very familiar with, and I'd like to share some information about what we've learned during the first semester. But before we get started, Dana, you got some big plans for Christmas coming up?
You know what? We are just going to be celebrating here in Abilene, my husband and I, along with our two children, and it'll be a small group, but we're looking forward to having them home and having a chance to spend some time with them. How about you? Do you have any special plans?
We do. It's small group is hard to define in our family, but I've got 13 grandkids, 4 kids, some extra kids. So we've just got kids everywhere. And my wife and I love that. We will be touching base with all of them off and on throughout Christmas break, and really look forward to that. Well, we'll go ahead and jump here into the uh, superintendent's update. I'm going to share the screen here a little bit. And again, this is December 18th of 2020. We've had quite a semester, and we would like to share some information that the semester has ended on. Earlier this week, let me get this going. Earlier this week, met with Dr. Holmes and the county health department and the school nurses and superintendents here in Dickinson County. And this information was given to us, and I thought this was really pretty interesting information that I'd like to share with our public. I'm sure everybody has heard about how the vaccinations for COVID-19 have become available. This graphic kind of outlines what we can expect for the availability of these vaccinations here in Kansas. One of the things that I have also heard on the radio and the news is that there are people out there trying to scam us with these vaccinations, and they're calling and asking people if they'd like to make a reservation for their vaccinations. And I believe most of us are very excited about the possibility of what vaccinations can do to end this struggle that we've been on here now for several months. Don't pay attention to those phone calls, especially as soon as they ask about Social Security numbers. You know you're getting scammed. You might want to report those efforts to our local police departments if you are approached with that kind of scam. But vaccinations have begun here in Kansas, and they've actually begun right here in Abilene. We believe that some vaccinations happened this past Thursday. At least that was on the schedule, and that's kind of exciting. And those again, we'll start out with our healthcare personnel, and as the months go by, become more and more available for all of us. I'd like to share a little bit about what we have learned from the semester. We are obviously finishing up the semester here today, and it's been quite a challenging one for all of us. Families have struggled with balancing work and childcare. Parents have had to become their children's teacher at home with very little notice off and on throughout this semester. And teachers have worked their tails off trying to provide their students with quality instruction for the kiddos that are at home, as well as the ones who are there in their classrooms and face-to-face. As the administration team reflected on this past semester, Dr. Ben Smith provided a quote that I think is worth repeating, and he is the principal here at Abilene High School. And he said, "Our primary challenge is to maximize the potential for learning in 2 different formats." And that truly is a challenge. And I thought that was so well stated that I wanted to share that with you here today. As we got closer to the end of the semester and just before Thanksgiving, we sent out some surveys to find out what our families are challenged with, what our teachers are challenged with, and we'd like to share some of that information with you at this point. We'd like to begin with our patrons. It became very clear to us that most of our families had a real desire for us to try to stay in face-to-face instruction as much as possible. So we're going to share some of the a couple of the concerns, especially with you now. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dana as she looks at the parent concerns about academics.
Thank you. Our parents did share concerns about their students' academic progress in their comments, and that was part of surveys. Those concerns were also shared during emails and also phone calls over the last semester. And I just want to state again that teachers have been working very hard to provide that remote instruction alongside in-class instruction, but that's a really large task, and I applaud all of their efforts. We do know that a few students really flourished during the remote learning experience, but we also know that many other students definitely struggled with the remote learning option and struggled to maintain their level of engagement during those class sessions. Add to that quarantines, sometimes multiple quarantines for some of our students, and we know that academic progress may not be what we would ideally want. So we are taking some time to evaluate that progress along with the number of days that students may have been out because of remote learning or because of quarantines. We'll evaluate that and we will be ready to share that in the future as well.
Very good. We also had some parents express some concerns with us about childcare and balancing childcare and work. It's obviously very challenging. Several parents, quite frankly, are worried about losing their jobs, and we understand that. It's very difficult during these times to miss so much work, and that's certainly, our hearts went out to those parents about those concerns. Some of our families have also been forced to have their oldest child babysit their siblings during the day, even though their oldest child is still very young. And those are concerns that our families have when school goes into a remote setting. We'd like to share a little bit as well that keeping kiddos in the school is relatively safe. There's not a guarantee in anything. There's always going to be a certain amount of risk, but we found it interesting that on November 19th, the CDC director, Robert Redfield, shared a statement about keeping kids in school, and he quite frankly said that school is one of the safest places students can be. He also shared how important it is to make decisions based on data. And the link that we have here, I know that it's not going to be something that you can just click on and go, but if you have an opportunity to write this down, you can get access to the presentation that we did see again on November 19th. And I think it was interesting to hear him share these bits of information. One of the things, again, that he did say is that we should use data to make decisions. And so here in Abilene, I want to share probably our primary way that we're doing just that. When one of our buildings begins to have about a 15% absenteeism, or 15% of our teachers unable to come to school because either they're sick or they've been placed in quarantine, it becomes very difficult for that building to stay in face-to-face instruction. We have to hire substitutes to monitor the kiddos that are in the classroom, even when the teacher's in quarantine. The teacher may very well be providing instruction from home, but again, it takes two adults to make some of that happen. If you look closely at our numbers in the middle school here just this week, you can see that we had one teacher who tested positive, and we had 8 teachers for various reasons, almost none of them connected to our sick teacher this week. They were out, and it was very challenging to make some things happen. And I want to make sure that I thank Mrs. Jenna DeLay, our principal there, for her exceptional creativity and leadership. It allowed us to stay in a face-to-face setting, and we do really appreciate her efforts there. I want to thank Nurse Brandy McGivney and Nurse Lacey Foltz for providing us with this information on a very regular basis, quite often every day, and that takes a lot of work on their part. We would like to encourage you to click on our Abilene Schools webpage, and it's abileneschools.org, and then click on the health information button, and you can review how this data has changed over time.
And Mr. Brown, I'd like to throw out that as individuals review that information and they go back, they'll see that there have been some other times in other buildings where we've had to get very creative as well. And administrators have worked very hard to staff classrooms and other duties so that we can stay in person. So that will show up as individuals review that information.
That's a really good point, Dana. And that kind of reiterates the fact that the 15% is not a hard and fast piece for each of our buildings, because we might have several missing out of all the buildings, and then that creates a real challenge as well, because our substitute teacher list is pretty limited in the district. But very good, thank you. We'd like to go ahead and move into a little bit of what the teachers' surveys shared with us, and quite frankly, teachers need some help. The teacher surveys and the comments that came on those surveys just broke our hearts. We read those statements and we realized something has to happen. Our teachers have always worked very, very hard to provide a first-rate instructional setting for our students, and their hearts have not changed because of COVID-19. Their work to provide a first-rate instruction, not only in face-to-face, but also through the Zoom connections, has proven to be, quite frankly, overwhelming. And so some things had to give. We are going to make some changes for second semester that impact our families a little bit. And this past Monday evening at the Board of Education meeting, they approved several measures which we hope will reduce some of this stress. Again, 2 of the measures have an impact on our families. We're going to move our students that are in grades 6 through 12, and that's our middle school and high school students who have been in full-time remote instruction, to our virtual school program. I know that we did hear from one of our families that they feel like we're turning our backs on those kiddos, and I certainly hope that we're not doing that. Our virtual program is unlike other virtual programs. We will be working to maintain a regular adult connection with each of our kiddos, and I can understand a little bit of what the families might be thinking along those lines, but we need to find some ways for some relief, and we'll just kind of move forward from there. But again, our students who are in grades 6 through 12, they will go into our virtual program, and then we're also going to provide some time for lesson development for our teachers. The virtual program considerations that we'd like to have all of the families who are involved with this be aware of is that it's not going to be strictly what we've done with our virtual programs. The middle school level has some things that make it look different. The high school level also has some things that make it look different. So it's not a closed door setting on our students that are placed in virtual school. We need to have each of our parents for these students contact the principal for their kiddo and talk about what this looks like, look at the details, and really truly understand what the differences are. Dana, have I missed anything on that?
I don't think so.
Kind of stumbled on my words, but hopefully everybody understands where we're at on that.
They'll be understanding.
The other change that we have comes once a month throughout this next semester. We're going to provide some additional time for lesson development for our teachers. Students in grades pre-K through 8 will stay home for the entire day on these lesson development days. Now, this is a little different information than what was shared at the board meeting. Since Monday night, we have been continuing our conversations with our teachers, and we realized that there was a communication glitch with our teachers at the middle school level. So we have extended the full-time release day for students that are in pre-kindergarten through 8th grade. As I mentioned, the pre-kindergarten, those of you parents who are paying the fee for the kiddos that are in our 4-year-old preschool program, we are looking to make an adjustment with that. We'll be in touch with you to let you know what that adjustment is. It'll be a slight reduction in that fee, and that will be coming before the board on January 11th at our next regularly scheduled board meeting. Students who are in grades 9 through 12 will come to school at the normal time, but they will be released at 1 o'clock. In fact, their day will be structured just like today is here on December 18th. Okay. Dana, I think you've got some things to talk about on this one, so we'll go from there.
Yes. Again, we're listing here the dates of the calendar that will be changed. And again, a reminder that K through 8 will not attend at all on those days. And our high school students will be released at 1 o'clock. One thing that will be different about these no school days will be that we are working to develop plans so that we can provide meals on these days. Since the USDA is providing free meals for all of our students, that gives us an opportunity to handle things a little differently than maybe we have in the past. And so not only are we talking about these 5 days, but also working on all of the other days that are no school days during the second semester. So that might be an in-service day or parent-teacher conferences. Any of those days, we are working on ways that we can provide meals. Some of those days may need to be a grab-and-go format like we've used on remote time frames, and some we may be able to hand out those meals the day before and allow students to take those home with them. So as we have those plans all ironed out, we will make sure communication goes out to families as well so they know how to plan for that and sign up for those meals that will be available.
Okay, very good. So again, a quick review. Our full-time remote students in grades 6 through 12 may continue off-campus instruction, but we're going to do that through the Abilene Virtual School. Then once a month, and the dates are listed there, January 13th, February 10th, March 24th, April 21st, and May 5th, we are going to provide teachers with time to develop their lessons. The pre-K through 8th grade students will not attend school on those days, and the let me see, it'd be 9 through 12 students will attend school at the start of the time as normal, but be released at 1. If you have any questions about this, feel free to contact your building principals, or you may give me a call here in the district office as well. Well, the holiday break is starting up, and Dana, I'm going to turn the next little bit of information over to you, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. Again, this is another time when the USDA making it possible for us to provide the free meals, again, gives us an opportunity to do something we haven't done in the past, and that is that we can provide meals to students over winter break. We're setting this one up a little bit differently in that starting on Monday, December 21st, we will provide those meals for families that sign up. The students or children ages 1 through 18 will provide 2 days worth of meals on that one day. So each child would receive 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches that they would be able to take home with them to use for that Monday and Tuesday. And then again on Wednesday, December 23rd, we'll provide meals the following Monday and the following Wednesday. And we have multiple locations where families can come and pick those up in that grab and go format. But we do ask for families to sign up. on the website. There is a link on the website that has several survey questions, and that will help us to have all of the meals prepared and ready for students. But we're very thankful that this is a chance for us to help students and help families over the holiday break.
Okay, very good. Well, again, we would like to wish all of our families happy holidays. We're going to have more spring-like weather, it sounds like, at the start of especially this upcoming week. And I don't know as that really hurts any of our feelings. But again, best wishes. If you have any questions about the information that you've seen here today, please do not hesitate to give us a call here in the district office or send us an email. And there's more than a strong possibility, especially me, especially with the information that I will have shared, that I have confused somebody. But you guys take care, enjoy your families, enjoy the season, and God bless.